Alright folks, welcome back to the same project, only completely different. We have changed our mind a little bit and adjusted the plan. Rather than closing this opening, this doorway all in now, we're going to leave sort of this much, which opens up the space. And again, we want to strike a balance between open floor plan and respecting the age of the house. So my customer and I have talked a lot about, let's not just rip everything right on down because it's a bit too contemporary, a bit too modern, but a cute little trimmed window sort of opening here between the rooms will keep the line of sight and the ability to hold a conversation going. You won't open all the way to the ceiling and carry the ceiling through in one plane. There'll still be this here, so it makes a nice balance. And in here, rather than pocket doors, we're going to have just a permanent opening, and that'll have side lights actually that are also everybody trimmed in together, and some columns to either side here, and it'll leave a place to hang a plant, and the sills of all of these openings will be sort of wide, and it makes a nice canvas for seasonal decoration, and it keeps the place open without just getting rid of everything, because that can also be a faux pas sometimes. So we are going to move the duct into that new wall rather than covering it with cupboards. I looked at everything here, and it really is going to be kind of easy to do. I will be making a 2x6 wall for several reasons. It'll basically cover the space in the floor that we've got, or at least partly. We're going to have to do some hardwood repair in these corners that are missing and wherever the opening lies here, but it should be pretty easy. We actually already have seen some matching old hardwood for that repair. But having a water wall is going to help me find a place to cover most, if not all, of the opening in the ceiling without cutting it all back. And we'll move this horizontal run up into the floor bay, and this vertical run will move into the first sort of complete wall bay, and then after that almost will be where the pony wall starts, and the opening will begin there. But we did some quick math, and we established that the 10-inch diameter circle has a roughly 78 square inch area, and a 14.5 by 5.5 wall bay rectangle, which is what you have left after 16-inch on centers, is I think 79 or maybe 80 almost square inches. So long as the cross section is about the same, we're not losing any volume, and so we'll just rebuild all of this in rectangular. It will be custom, but we'll fold that right up on the break, no problem. And we'll come right back upstairs into what exists there, and we'll start and take off in the basement from there. It'll just be different in here. And we'll try to make the wall work out so that this little run can come right out the end of it straight and roll up, and just tidy that up a bit too. I could have tried to come through from this ceiling bay through the beam here and up into the bedroom, but it is a solid wood beam, and I can't be sure anymore off the top of my head, like I can in a newer structure, that I've got what I need for strength, because I'm not sure of the dimension of that beam. I'm not sure of its composition and its age, and the span it's doing is all sort of unknown to us, and we would really have to sit down and accurately measure it and model it, and then run finite analysis on it, which we're not going to do here. So saving myself cutting a sort of a sketchy hole all the way through for that, we will just stay out and cover this little bit with a small cupboard. We can't do our longer cupboard that we had planned because of course this window will be here still, and so we've just massaged everything. Now down to the problems that creates. The floor, like in a lot of homes this age, dips down to the center. And I did a little sketch here, which may be tough to see. I'm not sure this is worth it. Your foundation comes up on both sides, and your floor joists jump across, and they're supported in the middle with a column. And in the case of this house and many others, that column over time either sinks down, rots off. This one has been replaced, but I don't think they had the power to lift us back up, so they just replaced it as it was. And so long story short, we're still coming downhill to the center of the home like this. We're going to be coming down from the kitchen and coming down from the living room. And actually, my client was telling me about how the living room furniture needs to be shimmed up, and it's kind of a bummer. So measuring up from the floor to the same height in both cases has us at this pencil line, and then to set the level perfectly in here, we take off from this pencil line, and we're off almost an inch and a half here, almost an inch and a half. And so I mocked this up for us both to look at, and I said it's going to be tough with this camera lens, but as you look at this, it clearly grows larger to the right hand side, and you'd never build the sill uphill so that it didn't do that. That would be even worse to do, and to build it in level, like I said, it's going to play up that larger gap. And so really the quick and easy thing to do is, as counterintuitive as it may be, is to just lift the floor right here, especially since I own lifting shores already. Now let's not get ahead of ourselves. Of course, there's got to be a problem. The ones I own are 2 inches too long when fully compressed to actually fit underneath this area of the beam that we need to lift. We're going to come right from here. I got the plumb bob in here already. This is our duct stack here, our hot air stack, and this is the main beam that comes from there. And they've got this, like we looked at before, kind of jank nation kind of weird post there and a pair here. We're just going to make up that inch to inch and a half right here, pushing, and we're going to go up, and I'm going to get some help here because these are going to come loose, but we'll basically tuck those up and tighten them all back up in position again, and we may have to go out and get a lolly column here, or maybe borrow one of those and put it there or something, but we'll get this all right before we continue. How are we going to work with an overly long lifting shore? Well, we could order another one that's shorter, but we're trying to save some cost here. So since this is old, busted up, you can't really see how uneven this is, but it's very, very uneven. We're just going to bust a little hole in this here in the ground, a couple inches down. We just need to make a divot here. Hopefully we still end up with something kind of solid, or I may make a larger depression so that we can put a full like 8x8 or 9x9 steel plate underneath to spread out the load, and then we'll push off. Then it'll fit in there, and we can pick this up. So since we're getting late in the day today, I'm going to try and get that sort of created and just come in and put some tension on it, push some pressure in. Just start pushing a little bit, and then we'll leave it for today, and we'll come back tomorrow as a best practice, and we'll do all of that where we're going to be here for the day, and we'll listen and look and be prepared to handle whatever little issues that uncovers. But for the most part, it'll be painless and a very significant improvement to this whole house in general. And now's the time. We've cut so much, before we fill in that opening, before we've cut out more of this doorway. Actually, I'll show you. So I say now is the time because we've taken so much away, to pick up the area of floor. We're not fighting this wall whatsoever anymore. It's gone. We're not fighting this short wall that I intend to build. It's not here yet. And in this area here, the doorway used to be here-ish. We've gone to here. And then we decided, since the next stud there is so far over and I don't have a lot of substance here, we will continue to this black line here. We're going to open this doorway up. So of all of the resistance we would have had, we'll have the least amount, during this project. So this is the time. And it really should be pretty sweet. So we'll get all set up and see if we can't pick it up, and then we'll come back and check out the headway. Thanks for watching. We'll see you.